Hello and welcome to DCG's development update. We are happy to share what the core, the mobile, and the platform teams have been working on over the past 2 weeks. If you have any questions during the update, please post them in the live chat below using a Q or a question prefix, and we will be answering those questions at the end, so please stick around for the Q&A segment. Without further ado, let's dive in and start with the platform team. And let me find my sharing button. Here you go.
Yes. So actually, this is not it was not completely updated. The focus for the last 12 days, we only have 12 days this time, was the 2.1 release. That was front and center. Actually, I worked on that. I worked on helping out get us to the 2.1 release. That was probably like half of my work, and then the rest of the half of my work was iOS. I know Paul worked on Dash Evo tool. Paul isn't here right now. He's currently in Singapore. He had something cool to show, but he said he's gonna do that in 2 weeks from now. So yeah, Ivan worked on the JS SDK. I'm gonna kind of explain somewhere down the line where we're at there and like how we're releasing 2.1. So yeah, platform and 2.1 release, Luca, Ivan, and Paul, and me. I was heavily involved. We're trying to get that out. So let's go on. So yeah, the 2.1 release plan is still the same. In the next day or two, we're gonna have a dev version that we're gonna push to testnet. We're not going to, I mean, when I said release, yes, it's probably going to stay on testnet for a few days, and then assuming everything goes well, the upgrade on testnet only takes an hour and a half. So since there's not much there and we can just run the test pretty quickly, this is not going to take multiple weeks. We might be able to get it before the 3rd of October, maybe the 4th of October, somewhere in there. Sorry, getting too many messages. Need to close that. Okay. So so we, according to Ivan, the JS SDK is very close to being ready. We're just making some last minute changes and fixing things up. We'll be ready in time. Inside of 2.1, yeah, I've already covered this 12 days ago, but we have massive Rust SDK improvements. We'll have an iOS SDK or a budding iOS SDK. The full iOS SDK and will really be more 2.2, like the complete thing that people could use. But I mean, it's still good enough for all platform use. It just has some issues with core usage. Also RSDAPI client will be in 2.1. And a new thing that I'm going to present today is creator ID. So I'll talk a little bit about that. Let's first, why don't you go next, Lukasz, before I talk about creator ID.
Yeah, hi. So I'm basically on two topics. First one is RSDAPI, where we have rewritten DAPI to Rust and improved it to have a much better performance. It's right now a requirement for the iOS app, and current status is that there are two main things. First one is drive document subscriptions, which we didn't work on this sprint, but it will be in the next version. Right now, which you just return not implemented, because we just want to focus on stabilization of RSDAPI. So we are testing against the platform test suite that we have and the Rust SDK tests to ensure everything passes and runs smoothly. Right now, I think the last issues we have are related to subscriptions, where we subscribe for core transactions or platform transactions that happen in the system. That's heavily used when you create any state transition. So we change anything in the platform, these endpoints are used, and sometimes like it's not stable enough at this point. But I guess it's a matter of a day or two, as Sam mentioned, and it should be out for testnet. And second thing that I worked on the next slide, please, is Tender Dash, where I put some effort into maintenance to update all dependencies, fix some failing tests we had, and stuff like that. It's all done, and as it's done, I did release Tender Dash version 1.5. It will be a requirement for platform 2.1, and it will be automatically updated when you will update platform to new version. So right now, no action needed. It's there, but you don't need it yet. And that's pretty much it on my side.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so some things that I worked on in 2.1 for 2.1, creator ID. So one feature that has been requested a few times and I never got around to doing, and we had always decided it was going to be like a fast follower to 2.0, was the addition of a creator ID. So basically what is that is for NFTs that can be sold or transferred. Well, once you sold them, you never knew who was the original creator. So for all new contracts that are registered after basically for all contracts that are registered after 2.1 goes into effect, you will have the creator IDs. And basically, when you don't, a developer does not have to do anything. They will just automatically appear when the document is in the system. So you'll be able to say that the contract has creator IDs, and I mean, actually all NFTs will have creator IDs automatically. And then you can query the system for things like give me all, trading cards that were created by this user. So, creator IDs can be present in the indexes. They can be unique in the indexes. So you can create contracts that say that each user can only create one of an item ever before they transfer it. So they can never create more than one. You can also do complex unique indexes. So saying like each person can only create one car or one red car. You can do tons of cool stuff. So even if they transfer the item later, they can never recreate another one that is the same. So you can do a lot of really cool things with this. And yeah, one reason why it's taken a little bit longer than expected is that there is a small little issue that I found that can cause some degraded performance if you know exactly what to look for. Can't really attack the network, but it's not ideal. So I'm fixing that as well in 2.1. I don't want to say exactly what it is, because if people start spamming it, we could see if somebody really tries very hard, we could see a slightly degraded performance. I mean, there's nothing really bad that would happen, but it would hurt the person trying to do the attack more than the network itself. But, since we want platform ironclad, I am fixing it. And I'll let it known what it is in 2 weeks from now. So then we have then I also worked on document filter for state transition subscriptions. That was about 10 days ago. So that was some refactoring there. That's the state transition subscription is, I even kind of forgot what that was around. It was saying uh what was that? Lucas, do you remember? So what I remember is Paul wrote the initial version, and then I wrote like, a lot of more code there. Like I think 2,000 lines of code. But since it was 10 days ago, it feels like an eternity.
Yeah. So that's the goal is to be able to receive updates when some document was updated or deleted, and to have like proof before
Oh yeah.
it was deleted and after it was deleted.
Oh
So this is
yeah.
for the
Yeah.
subscription of document changes that I mentioned. We postponed, at least on the DAPI side. I think it will not get into 2.1 in terms of end-to-end implementation. That parts of that will already be there.
Yeah, parts of it. And so part of it has already been merged in. Okay, well, not very interesting. It will be very interesting a little bit later, but for now, not so much. Okay, let's go on.
So it's a very important feature, in my opinion, just so a web developer will be able to subscribe and to see any changes to his documents that he created in platform, right? Or his data or anything related to some like label or whatever. It will be very useful for developers, I think.
Yeah, so actually before we continue, let me quickly, well, I think I might have already said it around SDK, but yeah, I mean, Ivan is finishing up the JS SDK. For 2.1, so the original idea was we were going to have one SDK version that was about 8 megabytes, and one that was like about 1.2 or like 2 megabytes, but was like restricted and very small, right? So, it didn't have all the features, but had 90% of the features that we wanted. Ivan let me know that the current one is 5 megabytes. So we're not going to do the extra work to get the small one in 2.1. We're just going to push out the 5 megabyte one for now. And we'll have a restricted one in 2.2. Like it's like with not all the features, right? With a subset of the features. So it's much smaller, but you can only like push documents instead of maybe do all the NFT and token stuff. Okay. Yeah, let's go on to mobile.
Alrighty. So on Android, we had a top-up issue where someone wasn't able to redeem, well, the redemption process just didn't work correctly. So that was fixed. And then the small disk UI improvement to make sure it's clear that I should have put this on dash spend actually. What country a particular gift card is supported in. Right now it's just the US, but we did have some users try to purchase outside of the US and some of them didn't work. So that was added. And then we had some sending delays that we worked on. There was a problem with transferring max transfer from Coinbase. It wasn't taking into account the fees correctly. And then on dash spend, we just had some final implementation work that we had to do and fixes before we started the beta, which has started. Don't show that here, but it has started. And then something specific relating to claim links, just a different redemption process for Piggy cards. That same UI improvement for informing the user about the merchant country was done on iOS, as well as a bunch of other improvements to the filtering and the sorting, and just some UI changes in design to catch up with Android. So that was implemented, and we will be pushing that, actually releasing that even before we start with the Piggy Cards beta for iOS. Search Sam will go into some more iOS stuff, but that's it from our side.
Yeah, sure. Oh, am I still? Yeah. So I quickly just wrote that, worked a lot on iOS. There were some fundamental issues there. We not super great to report on, but basically the equivalent of my dog ate my homework, but the AI actually destroyed a day of work last week, which was very demotivating. Just completely erased it. So I had to restart on some stuff that I was working on. Maybe even it was about a day and a half of work. It had been committed, but it deleted the commit because to increase speed, I was going in like quite dangerous mode for the AI. Anyways, but we do have a demo where things are much better than, well, much, quite better than 2 weeks ago. So one thing that when we were seeing like the progress of headers, then filter headers, then filters, those were actually coming in 3 different ways, right? Through different channels, through different methods. So one thing that was done was that's all standardized and kind of like made really nice. No hacks anymore. So the reporting works a lot better now. Yeah, one other thing is that then when we finally got the filters syncing, we weren't getting any transactions. So I wasn't really sure what was going on there. And then I realized through a lot of pain and effort that we actually are creating two wallets, two like wallet managers, and they're like the iOS wallet manager isn't really hooked up through the interface to the SPV system. Got that done. So we're gonna show a demo. It's still not. We still don't have balances, but we do have some stuff that's a little bit better. So because I have a slight problem right now, Pasta's gonna do it on his. Is just gonna show it. Pasta, you want to show it?
So let me go ahead and share that. So I can share the simulator here. Okay, we should be able to see the simulator here. So I went ahead and pre-synced the wallet just to save a little bit of time. Right now, the iOS wallet itself will pretty much always sync from Genesis, which takes a little bit longer. But for normal user operation, we would expect to sync from a checkpoint, which would be a lot quicker. So here, the main thing that I want to show is blocks hit is incorrectly right now being marked as 0. Well, so
It's completely wrong. We actually hit 790 blocks. Well, at least on my computer, it hit 790.
Yeah, so there's some bug that we're dealing with right now that is causing some kind of miscommunication or issue in how we are kind of detecting blocks.
No,
But
no, 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 no. No,
well,
it detects them.
it
detects.
is.
Sorry.
Yeah. It is detecting them, and we can see that because if we go into the wallet, we can see that we don't just have 20 addresses, but we have 149 and 147. So this tells us that a lot of stuff has happened, and the wallet sees that a lot of stuff has happened. We can even click into it, and scroll down, and you can see all of these addresses are used, whereas these ones down below are unused. And if you actually go to an explorer, like this is accurate. So we are actually properly syncing. Stuff is happening, but somewhere there's miscommunication, and this part is working. So we are properly seeing which addresses are used and which ones are not properly used. But the balances are not getting communicated, um, and the like number of blocks that have transactions in them are not being communicated. When I
Well,
run the same wallet in Dash SPV running the binary locally, we do get a heck of a lot closer. We see balances, we see all of the transactions, everything's being reported properly when I just run Dash SPV, like the local binary. But through the FFI layer on iOS, somewhere in that chain, there's some miscommunication, somewhere the wires are getting crossed, and um, balances are not properly being reported right now. But yeah, did you want to add something, Sam?
Yeah. So like the blocks hit, we are hitting them like in the logs, right? It's literally just a UI issue for blocks hit. But for balances, it's not a UI issue. Well, it could be a UI issue. I'm not sure. We're it's it's complex.
Yeah,
As I look at it, it doesn't look it looks to be like a yeah, it looks to be a more deep issue. Some
yeah.
for
So there are a number of wallets that I've synced in Dash SPV properly that have, hundreds or thousands of transactions, and I'm getting the correct balances with them, which is great. So that tells us that the library, for the most part, is like working properly, at least when running like natively. Um, with this wallet specifically, it has some extra like transaction types. I think there's still a bug that might be causing an incorrect balance if there's like maybe ProTXs or something like that that we need to debug more. But right now we're trying to figure out this FFI um, communication kind of issue that is causing the zero balances to be shown right now.
yeah.
Like anything else, Sam?
Hey, I never even checked, but what about the special transactions? Do you see any of those addresses used? Just curious.
Um,
Could you
so no operator keys. That's not so surprising.
identity
Uh,
registration might be.
the provider owner.
No. Those are for those are for
Oh, for
master.
the identities. I don't know if this wallet has identities registered
I don't think so, actually.
because
And
we don't
because we
see any. I know it
yeah,
has
'cause-
X's, but I don't know if. Okay, yeah, we do see a ProTX that has used an owner key. Um, so
okay, so yeah, even that works. Special transactions work. Yay. Yeah,
yeah,
we're a little bit in the dark right now, but we'll have a flashlight on this soon enough.
indeed. Anything else you wanted to show here, Sam?
No. We're good.
Alrighty. Well, I will let Balash start sharing the slides again, and I will talk a little bit about core. So, we did make really solid progress in this last little bit. So proof of service banning, all of that from our side has been merged in now. So that is very exciting. The extended addresses in DML, we got an extra PR or two merged in. There are still more PRs that are to be created in that series, but right now, all of the ones that have been open for that have been merged in now. So that's very, very nice progress. Key Whiskers has worked a little bit on some X11 hashing optimizations using kind of some more modern CPU instructions, using some like SIMD or single instruction multiple destination. I don't remember what that D stands for. But basically, SIMD allows you to do multiple things at the same time, and various AES accelerated optimizations. Right? None of the algorithms that we use in X11 are actually AES, but some of them share the same primitives as AES, and so you're able to use some of the same instructions. And so far, I think of the 11 algorithms, he's optimized 2 of the worst performing ones, and that has netted us about a 16% improvement in X11 hashing speed, which is quite valuable. That is very cool. And then we did merge in a number of functional test optimizations and indexing optimizations in the last 2 weeks. So you can move on to the next slide and we'll see the set of merged in PRs. So a good number of PRs, a good range of refactoring and backports and performance improvements and everything in between. But a solid set of merged in PRs for sure. But I think we are good there and we can move on to questions.
All right. Let's see the questions. When are wallet utils transaction memos on platform going live?
So we did have to put, well, we do have memos already, but if you're talking about when the metadata is going to be stored on platform, we do have a few small things that we still have to update before that goes live. I don't have a definitive timeline. It will not be in this sprint. We've prioritized getting piggy cards and dual usernames implemented. But to that question and some of the other ones, storing all metadata and invites will be one of the next priorities after we get the dual usernames worked out.
All right, thank you. Any progress on DashPay invites?
Yep, just answered that question. So it's just a capacity thing. Well, you went mute, but the next question's for me as well. I think so this has been in the backlog for quite a while. We knew it wasn't going to be part of MVP being able to send encrypted messages to the recipient. We haven't come up with a design yet, but we need to accomplish that with some kind of peer-to-peer messaging. We just, again, don't have the bandwidth to get that figured out yet.
All right, so you answered all the questions?
I answered about invites, about encrypted messages or memos to a recipient, and the next one, I guess, is maybe more for Sam, but I think it relates. I think it's the same question as the encrypted messages, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, how easily can an encrypted message contract be added to platform, and how feasible is it to add this to DashPay?
So how easy can a encrypted wallet, encrypted message contract be added to platform? It would take me 15 minutes to write and probably 45 minutes to review, like just to make sure that I didn't do anything wrong to make a contract. But making the contract is not the hard part. You have to basically wire that contract to a system, and yeah. But yeah, making a contract is easy.
All right, and overall,
the underlying system is complex. Like, we don't have any like ready. I mean, right now there's no easy to use SDK type thing that can automatically do all the cryptography, right? You need to write about 300 lines of code instead of 1 line, right? 300 lines of code is not hard, and any good developer could do it, but I've seen a lot of laziness in my years with people not willing to do any effort. Sorry, but kind of feel like it's true. So yeah, I mean, I think it really matters with sorry, it really matters with external developers if they're willing to do it. Now, then the UI and the UX, that's another, 20,000 lines of code, right? Make a nice UI or a nice website, or that's complex. Making the whole app around it.
I mean, the question does reference at the end, and how feasible is it to add this to DashPay? So I guess I need a little bit more clarity to differentiate that ask versus the one previous to it. Digital cash, we can do it now or offline, but I guess I need, from a user perspective, what user features in DashPay specifically are you looking for? The first question is clear. You're talking about an encrypted memo that gets sent with a payment to the recipient. I'm not sure what user feature in DashPay you want have implemented for that second question.
You don't wait, one thing here. You don't want to send an encrypted memo between users at the same time as a transaction, because if you do, people can decode who's sending who what.
Yeah, so
right?
this is what goes to the design. Like I said, we haven't figured out a design for this yet on how it's going to work. But I'm just talking from a user perspective, being able to send an encrypted message that's associated to a payment.
Yeah, the second question is a P2P chat function like a Telegram DMs or XDMs. That is what digital cash.
Oh, like full-blown messaging outside of any kind of payments?
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not in our.
it's not in our roadmap. It's not in
I already responded that we don't have it. Like, it's definitely not happening this year. And we have probably years of roadmap in front of us and work to do. So, there's no point in adding more to the pile.
All right.
There is something really cool that I also figured out in the last 12 days that I forgot to mention, is I figured out how to have anonymity in platform, which had been bugging me for like 4 or 5 years. So I found a first way of, sending to somebody without multiple things, right? First thing is I figured out how to request data without you telling what data that you actually want from the system. From GrowDB. So you can say, hey, I want data, but you don't actually tell it what you want. You just tell it that you want data, and you form your request in a certain way. And the system will give you back like maybe 100 times the data that you requested, but inside that 100 data will be the thing that you want. Now, it's not just as simple as like giving you like a range around what you want. No, I mean, that I guess could work to some extent for very specific use cases, but yeah. So there was about a day in the last 12 days that I did spend working on this, because it's a really interesting research topic. Not something that we have the capacity to do right now, but it does seem doable. It basically would work with probabilistic filters inside of GrowDB. So you would have a specialized tree that on multiple layers of the tree have probabilistic filters for lower level elements, and then you can use these probabilistic filters to figure out if data that you might be interested in is below. And if you might be interested in, you will get it. If you're not interested in it, then you don't pull the lower layer. Anyways, quite interesting. I passed it through, a ChatGPT 5 just to see if if it could work. It said, yeah, it can work. And there's actually been research at there was a crypto paper that's not exactly what I am proposing, but adjacent. Somebody wrote a paper on something a little bit similar a few years ago in 2019, I think. So other people have thought along the lines. It's more the way I'm proposing is more advanced because it's involving multi-dimensional trees that we have in GroveDB, and the other one was just like very basic premise. But anyways, so yeah, another year of work behind the scenes.
All right, so the last question is, how easily can Core implement DashPay's coin join derivation paths?
Hi, so I guess I forgot to throw this on the slides, but this is something that has been done. It will only work with the like modern descriptor wallets. And so if you have, which are not enabled by default currently, but I believe will be enabled by default in either v23 or v24. But with descriptor wallets, because without descriptor wallets, it's really annoying to have like multiple paths and stuff. With descriptor wallets, it's relatively easy, and that has been implemented. So, yeah, that
Wait,
is
you guys implemented DashPay?
no, specifically the coin join derivation.
Oh, CoinJoin derivation. I heard DashPay derivation. Okay.
Yeah, like DashPay and like contact info derivation would be much more complicated because it is like dynamic based on your contacts. It's not like impossible for us to maybe expose some RPCs to do some stuff based on some extra information, but the CoinJoin derivation has been done.
Excellent.
Right. Thank you. I see no further questions, so thanks for being here and sticking around, and see you in 2 weeks. Cheers.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, bye.